Hello and welcome to episode 28 of our Timberborn Update 6 Wonders of Water playthrough with the Iron Teeth faction here in Cycle 46, Day 17. Just started a 6-day drought, and last episode, among other things, we started planting some additional trees. And you'll notice that the thumbnail for the last episode had all this stuff planted, so shh, it's okay. But they're going to go ahead and plant this for real this time, get these oak trees ready to go, and we're going to start the process of raising the rest of this terrain. So that is going to entail unplanting all of these oak trees so we can move everything up one. But don't worry, the amount that we're planting here is greater than the amount that we are unplanting here. All we've got to do is just keep getting our land put back in place here and doing what we can do. So we may end up, depending on how this goes, may end up putting in another level of dams here, replace these with some levees, and then putting in a little bit higher of a dam on this side as well, so we can keep this nice and filled with that good clean water. That's going to allow us to hopefully avoid too much in the way of irrigation stations over here. Although I imagine we're probably going to have at least one. Depends on how the rest of this ends up looking. But other stuff we did last episode includes getting this reservoir more ready to go. And we're going to continue doing that today. So it's actually really good that we had this drought, because we really need to finish this. And we don't have a whole lot of wood to show for it. So hopefully more and more of these trees grow up enough to be harvested, and we can keep on going with that. But, you know, everything takes time. That's just the way it goes. That's our eternal motto here. So there's plenty of other stuff we can focus on if we don't have access to a whole bunch of logs. Like, for example, putting our other tribute to ingenuity over here. And yes, that will require some logs, but it's not really that many in the grand scheme of things. We'll have these 3 4x1 overhangs, so that's 60 logs. Not going to do it immediately, but we are going to have to do it. We just have to, you know, actually get something going over here. So that's going to be a whole thing. But basically, the whole construction for that is just 3 of these overhangs, and then, of course, we're going to have a couple smaller ones to get our power over. So that is a goal I would like to do today. I'm not sure we're going to be able to do it today, but we're going to try. We're going to see what we can get done. Other stuff we've got to do includes expanding our power storage. Right now, we do have these large vertical frame flywheels, and we have 4 of them. So our total collective power, well, that's like the same thing just said twice, so I guess that's redundant. But our collective storage of power right now is just a hair over 400,000 HP, or HPH, I suppose. And that is probably enough to get us through the rest of this drought, but as our consumption continues to climb, it's not going to be enough. So we are going to have to build this. And unfortunately, it requires logs, like most things. But the treated plank situation is actually looking really good. The gear situation is looking really good. Metal block situation is looking okay. But considering how few logs we have, I think I'm going to go ahead for right now. We can't forget that we've done this, but I'm going to go ahead and pause all of the gear workshops, if I can put my finger on the correct button on the keyboard, there we go, and all of the industrial lumber mills, because we have 800 planks and we have 900 something gears. So at the very least, we're not going to be consuming all of the stuff we're cutting down immediately. Over time, yeah, probably, but just got to let us do what we're going to do. So probably today going to see a whole lot of this stuff just gradually get filled in and taking care of what we can take care of when we can do it. And that's pretty much all we can do, honestly. So as long as they can reach all these, and I think they can, we should be in pretty decent shape. Unfortunately, the lack of logs is going to impact our ability to get some of this stuff done. But like I said, just takes time. So we will be continuing to cut down these pine trees. In fact, well, they're already all set to go. Never mind. I was going to say we're going to go ahead and cut down the rest of these as well, but I already did that. Good stuff. Got oak trees here that are growing in. I did say that we were going to do more of our terraforming, but that might have to wait till the next time. Just because our dynamite is going to the mine now, and until we can have a greater production of bad water, then we're not really going to be able to do too much with the dynamite anyway. So that's something I kind of wanted to roll into doing the terraforming here, because we do need more than 2 of these. I was going to put in 2 more. Hopefully 4 would be enough. But I also wanted to try and straighten this out just a tiny bit. So that, again, is probably just going to wait until we have all of our terraforming stuff taken care of. But for the time being, there's still a little bit we can do. But it is not going to be a super quick process. So this land right here, I'm not entirely sure if I want to blast it down at all. We might end up wanting to, but again, I'm just not entirely sure what that's going to end up looking like. I don't think there's anything else we can really cut down, like platform or otherwise, to get us some additional logs back. So again, it's just stuff that's going to take some time. And you can see that as our population has grown, stuff like the mangrove fruits and the kohlrabies have absolutely not kept up, which is one of the reasons why we have this giant farm area that we're supposedly going to be taking care of all those problems. So berries, though. Berries are looking fine. So I think what we're going to do is this space here, this, well, it's not a quadrant because it's not square, but this bit I think is probably going to be fine being the only berries that we actually have here. So I'm going to go ahead and demolish all these, and we're going to end up like substantially reconfiguring this whole thing. But this path right here, if we just have this go straight across, that's going to be a nice delineator. So I think I'm not going to delete any crops, but I am going to start unplanting stuff here. This, of course, right here is our little river. We can still have these sluice gates here, but we are going to continue filling it in rather substantially. Probably just keep this 3 wide, maybe square it off a little bit just so we can have this auto watering here. And this mess right here also needs to be dealt with. But when we get around to improving our mangrove supply, we may need to just expand this thing maybe by another half again as much as this size currently is, because we're at less than the 500 that I said we were going to try to sustain with this map. And if we're already struggling at 231, then I don't think we're going to have a whole lot of success with what we've got going on. So just try to keep that in mind as we're going along here. I am going to go ahead and unpause. Nope, never mind. I clicked the wrong one. I'm going to have to go ahead and unpause our levee construction here, because we absolutely have to have this going. Because as soon as we get the water coming back in after the drought, it's going to start overflowing here. So we have a couple of options to deal with that. And I think the best way is going to be... Is this still closed, actually? Oh, it is closed. Good. I'm kind of glad we did that. I was thinking it would be smart for us to go ahead and start demolishing this bit here, but we can't go down below the level of the water or else we're going to flood absolutely everything. So we can do it in bits and pieces, with the hope of having this thing completely ready to go before water comes back in here, which, since this is closed, not automated whatsoever at this point in time, I think we have a pretty decent chance of that actually working. Yeah, 2 days left, total of about 120-something thousand HPH, I think. Probably going to last right up until the end of the drought like it did last time. But it's a good thing that this stuff is all connected. Let me just tell you that. We also have been running these engines, which, I mean, they're consuming wood, so we probably should stop them. So we'll go ahead and do that. That was something that was mentioned in the comments about, just taking up all the wood because we need power. Now this is going to discharge a whole lot more, but yeah, look how quick that's going. It's going to be fine, though. They're working on this diligently, as slow as it might be. And I think that's going to be okay. So we can go ahead and take these 3 out as well. I don't know if they can get to it, so let's give them a path. That should suffice. And, you know, that's 27 logs. It'll build us a little more than 2 of these blocks, but hey, that works. Gonna be fine. Because as soon as we get a little bit more here, then I think I'm going to be comfortable taking one of these, or both of these out at the same time, actually. But we got to be careful when we start removing this because, you know, we still have to be able to get down. So, another thing we can do, depending on the supply of wood that we've got, is we can do this kind of thing again, which actually probably would work as all the way back here, yeah. As long as we're going to get more than 24 logs and 24 planks out of it, I think, yeah, that's probably fine. So, that'll get us the best influx of stuff right here. Just go ahead and get this going. That'll take it all the way down here. Oh yeah, we got plenty. That's a good use of our resources there. Go ahead and pop in these other levee pieces as well. And then, of course, we'll remove these suspension bridges and get everything else taken care of. Now, there's been a question raised in the comments about what's underneath these levees. Multiple of you have posted about it. So I just want to go ahead and let you know that, yes, I have thought about that. Oh, we're out of power. Perfect. But, yes, I've thought about it. No, we did not waterproof underneath these levees. So, if I were to take this bottom thing out, it would immediately flood all the contents of the reservoir out into our farmland. And obviously, that's not something we're trying to do. So, probably just going to end up leaving this bottom row in place. It's not ever going to get low enough for that to be a problem anyway. But just so we're all on the same page, I've not forgotten about it. I just haven't brought it up. So, I think now we're in a spot where we can go ahead and get these out of here. It's not going to flood over. Yeah, perfect. And this is still closed, so that's fine. And they're out of power, so it's not like they can really do much of anything right now anyway. So, other stuff, we've got 111 dirt. Continuing to cut down these trees, doing the best we can. How long is this going to be here? Oh, man, another 15 days? Well, it is what it is. We're going to go ahead and start planting additional oak trees in all of these spots that we can fit them, just so we can have everything taken care of, ready to go. I also do want to have this suspension bridge constructed, because a straight path is a happy path, in Timberborn at least. And we do need to get the rest of this taken care of as well. You know, bits and pieces. Little stuff. Gonna be just fine. As long as nobody gets stuck. Yeah, they're making their progress here. I don't know why they decided to build this first, where it's clearly behind everything in here. But I guess I can't really complain. Continues to evaporate and get sucked out by all these guys. We need to probably put in more water pumps, but that is not a right now problem. That is a later problem. And I'm sure we'll be dealing with that at some point. So, back to the farm restructuring. So if we're going to have this get changed in size, we probably need to go ahead and do it. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this mess in right here. These water pumps can go away, along with the showers. Don't worry, it's going to be fine. Going to be okay. Is this actually hooked up to anything? No, it's just a stream gauge that I was using to check contamination, so bye-bye. Don't need that in our lives anymore. And just get everything situated as best as we can. Like I said, I would like to square this off if at all possible. It's just going to make it easier to keep things neat and tidy. So that is going to require some blasting, our favorite activity ever. So this is a, come on, platform, please click. Thank you. All right, so these little water tanks can go away. This one right here is totally fine. It'll be able to handle everything. And I think, I mean, there's not going to be enough flow coming out of this for this to ever be a problem. So if we go ahead and say that everything, I'm going to say south because that's camera orientation, but it's probably not south in the game. The game probably doesn't even specify, to be perfectly honest with you, so everything south of this thing right here in this quote-unquote... Well, okay, well, I'll use this as a quadrant thing. Actually, no, I'll use this as a quadrant thing because this is about halfway through the map. Which means this needs to get removed. Somewhere, someone is typing a very angry message to me about how I don't think ahead. But that's okay because this is how I like to play the game and this is my videos. So, we're just going to keep on keeping on. Also, we have this lovely natural overhang here. I'd like to keep using that. Oh, no, that's not the middle of the... Oh. Alright, fine. Fine. I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. We'll just keep this as the central thoroughfare. So that, I guess, is going to be just fine. Anyway, so I guess this is now our quadrant. I think this is going to have to be almost entirely aquatic planting for the mangroves. Or, yeah, the pine stuff probably doesn't have a good spot over here, but whatever. We're going to need a whole lot of mangroves anyway, so... I love thinking out in the middle of nowhere and forcing my brain to do things it doesn't want to do. This is all going to get unplanted. Which means, finally, yes, friends, everyone's least favorite warehouse and ugly stair platform thing is going to go away. All of the ruins will be left on the ground for the beavers to pick up, so sorry to those of you who are upset about stuff being on the ground. I will do it again. So, oh boy, okay. You know what? This is actually going to work out pretty nicely if we want to have everything be in a nice straight line. That's empty because we're not really making enough explosives. Anyway, these are going to get removed, but they're building right now. I also have 75 beavers who aren't doing anything, so not going to feel too bad about it. But this, I guess, is going to bisect the map here, which doesn't quite line up with this, but does line up with this. We may end up blasting this, depending on how we end up going, but I would like to keep this going straight across, which means, this path. Okay, well, it doesn't really have to be. Doesn't really have to be, but I'm going to do it anyway because I can. Straight lines are cool. If you disagree, we can still be friends, but I just want you to know that you're wrong. All right, so moving on. Hopefully that doesn't make anybody mad. I'm going to go ahead and put in our platforms here to cross. I'm not going to worry about bridges. Just make this nice and simple. That's looking good there. Making some nice progress on getting this levee all situated. I don't think I can really open this again yet, but we are recharging very quickly, which is good to see. This is, I think now at this point it's low enough to go ahead and take this out. Might be a little tiny bit of flooding depending on how quickly this fills up, but I think it's going to equalize before that's a problem. Shouldn't be too much longer here. Yeah, we're going to be fine. Going to be just fine. Look at that. Look how close that is. I love that. Perfect. All right. So, like I said, we're going to end up basically completely reworking this. I wanted to have this blasted down anyway, so this is going to come in here. Keep this nice and lined up. Because this also lines up with this, this set of ladders here, which I totally didn't plan. But that is hopefully going to be a nice thing for us here. Yeah, okay. That's gonna, oh, it's gonna be so much nicer to do it this way. Then I can blast this out. This barrier will keep it from flooding, and then this path can be perfectly straight. Oh, yes. Oh, that's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be absolutely wondrous. I just have to decide how the rest of this is gonna end up going. Well, for right now, I'm gonna try to keep everything straight in line here. I'm not gonna take these trees. Actually, yes, I am. 4% grown. Not gonna cry about them. We're going to move on with our lives. Got better stuff to do. Alright, so now we're kind of in the home stretch here. Got this a little bit here. And then I think... Yeah, there's not going to be anything going on in the middle of this anyway, but... You know what? I may have made a mistake. Getting these levees out of here. I wanted to see if I could have the 6x1, one of those here, and then another one of those. It's not going to want to show unless I do. You know what? That would actually be perfect. So I'm not going to put the rest of these in until this is all finished, but I am going to go ahead and place these in here and just pause this bottom one, because that's going to end up being a 6x1 coming this way, and then we'll have a 6x1 coming this way, and it'll leave just enough room to have a whole bunch of these guys just like this, sound effects included. So that's going to be fun. We are going to need to keep an eye on our food situation, because I have done a rather obnoxious quantity of unplantings here. So what's probably going to happen is, I think for the best of everything involved, I'm going to end up leaving this bit of land at the same height as this bit of land, but it's going to end up going all the way to here. So I'm actually going to remove some land with some dynamite, and then we're going to have our trees kind of gone beneath that. And I'll tell you why. Because we have these overhangs that will beautifully go over all of these mangrove trees. So if we wanted to do something like, for example, have builders' huts or some recreational facilities or some other thing, they can be at the same height as the rest of everything, farmhouses especially, and not take up farmable land and be over the mangroves. So again, it's going to be one of those things where we're kind of radically changing the landscape here, and it's not going to be the most beautiful thing ever for the entire time, but it is going to make sense in the end. That's empty because there's no kohlrabis, so let's see here. Just for right now, I'm going to get these things connected, and then we'll start the process of squaring this off. And I suppose we can keep this. We can keep this same width just because we have these natural bridges here. But it is going to end up probably having some sluices. What can I build underneath these things? I don't think, yeah, that's not going to work. Well, okay, depending on how we want to do this. Yeah, we don't want that to be that high. I can actually move these sluices back to, say, here. It might actually be better anyway, because that's... I'm not going to really need that many of them. Let's, honestly, since it's sluices, I probably only need one. Probably just need the one. So, yeah, what's this set to? 0.7? Yeah, let's try 0.75. And just have that set there, and then this will end up getting blasted all the way down. I know we don't have a lot of explosives, but the amount of metal we have right now is actually going to make it possible for us to deprioritize using the explosives in the mines. We can just put that on regular scrap metal. And our number of explosives should continue to go up a little bit. I know we don't have storage because I took them away, but that is easily solved by putting in just a simple small warehouse right down here for temporary storage, set to obtain. And there we go. So this is going to move again. Get that down there, and then we can start the process of removing. I guess until I move that other thing, I can just leave this like so. But everything is going to get fixed in due time. Just has to have all the trees removed. You know the drill. Do what we can when we can. And decide exactly how this is coming down. If we wanted this to match, then that would come down to here, which means this would end up being one level over this way, and then this would actually become... This would become our ladder space right here. So I'm going to mark that with a platform that we will not build. I'm just using that as a, again, as a marker. And then I think we're probably going to be in pretty okay shape. This can get changed over here, put in irrigation barriers. Obviously, I cannot put a terrain block on top of this, but I can put a levee, which will help square things off. And yeah, that's gonna do us a whole lot of good when I can just demolish this down. Yeah, food-wise, the supply is going to be interrupted a little bit, but when this is done, this is going to be so much better. So we don't even need to worry about any of the problems that are going to be happening as a result of this. Tapper Shack. I mean, there's nothing else for the Tapper Shack to do except harvest the resin from the trees. That's literally its only job, so not entirely sure if I want to keep that here, or maybe since these bodies of water are not going to ever be connected again, maybe what we should have done is built, and I know this was in at least a couple of comments, built sluices over here if this whole thing is just going to be water here. Yeah, now, now that I think about it, that would make sense. Although a single sluice, since we're no longer doing anything else with this, a single sluice would probably be better. Oh boy. Okay, so oh no. Okay, how screwed am I? I got two things high of water here. If I decide that that's what I'm going to do, which, you know what? Why not? I can go one more down. No, I could have this come up from midway here, but I think it's better to have it come out the bottom, depending on how we want to do this. So, if I were to just completely do this in a stupid and crazy way, how would I want to go about this? How would I want to do that? So if I put this on the path here, then that would be probably fine, but I did say I was going to have all this blasted down 2 levels here, just to keep this happy. This is already in place, so I guess I can go ahead and remove... This is going to flood, don't worry. It'll go away. It's going to be fine, but I just wanted to go ahead and get this out of the way. We'll just enjoy this being strange for a little bit. Wow, did it actually not flood? Fascinating. Okay, well, that is no longer an issue of concern then. Cool. So, you know what's going to be funny is when I end up redoing all this and then wish I had kept it the same way. So, I don't know. You know what? No, maybe we'll just leave it like this. I know I deleted all those, and it's going to really irritate some of you guys, but it is kind of nice to have the water go somewhere over here, I guess. Yep, never mind. This is going to be too much of a problem to go in and redo anyway, so... Oh, I know there's someone just absolutely just seething at their keyboard right now. Good stuff. It fuels me. Get this campfire, get these medical things out of here. We don't need these over here. This farmhouse, like I said, is another one of those things that could easily be put on top of a what do you call it? Yeah, that's the scientific term. Don't wear it out. And this farmhouse goes away as well. Remember, we have 9,000 food stored, so we are okay. We are not going to be hurting whatsoever. And pine resin-wise, I've got 415 some treated planks. Do I have... Oh, I don't have any pine resin at all because we've been cutting the trees down. So what if what we did, since this is a whole thing here, this isn't polluted. If this ends up getting shifted over, which I don't think it's going to, I was going to have this be a whole thing here. If I just keep this same energy here, go 1, 2, 3... and then have this blasted out. No, because I wanted that to have... I wanted this corner to come all the way to here. So maybe I should just stop worrying about it. Just stop worrying about it and just build it, right? So if I... Most importantly... Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to blast this down. That's 4, right? I have... Well, I got 913 extract. Wow. Let's go ahead and blast this. get that out of the way, straighten this path out, and then we're going to see what happens here. How long is this? 16? No. That's going to go away. This coffee doesn't need to be here because we have these giant tanks upstairs. So we'll get that emptied out. Again, this isn't going to stay like this forever. This is just what we're doing right now. Alright, so, as I suspected, this is now getting infected from here, but I'm pretty sure that's going to go away as soon as I straighten this path out and put a corner piece in. Or at the very least, I hope it does. And if it doesn't, then we'll have to fix it, but I think our chances are pretty good of this being okay. Let's put that last bit in there. Okay. Move that. Get this corner piece, all this adjacent stuff out of here. Irrigation barrier there. Now, I do know that it is still coming down from up top here, but I think we might be okay, especially with how little this is actually traveling. If we are able to keep a little bit of land here. Okay, so that hasn't really changed it that much. That's a little disappointing. But I do really want to keep these natural overhangs. I think they're quite nice. So, regardless, there's all these other projects that I've been in the middle of, you know, not doing anything with. I know that irritates some of you guys. What's the range of this? Yeah, they can still get to that. Alright, we have reached the point where we can go ahead and take these suspension bridges out. We can go ahead and fill these levees in. Yes, I will start over here so nobody gets silly-billied. This one's not going to matter. And then we're going to be in a pretty good spot to go ahead and connect these. Well, since they're not going to leak out the bottom anyway, I'm going to go ahead and turn these back on. Or auto-open them. Get this nice and filled in. Now it's daylight, so we can actually see. This should equalize. Okay, that's nice and full. We're going to have to build these, but I'm more interested in doing the rest of this first. Should be spilling over here soon-ish. We still have plenty going on over here. We're not out of gears or planks yet, so we are just supercharging our log amounts here. Alright, I really thought this was going to be faster than this, and I was going to have to slow down, but I guess that's not the case. So we'll sit here and watch that, I suppose. Alright, that's ready. Get that taken care of. Yeah, so regret to inform you that it's not going to be as exciting as you thought it might be to have this all ready to go. But I did want to make sure that we could actually make use of all of this before I got rid of everything. So this is going to spill over gently, equalize our depth, and then I'll start taking the rest of this out. Here, so here we go. Yeah, the torrential just pouring of water over here. Not quite at the super fast speed, but yeah, now it's picking up a little bit. Yeah, we'll let this fill up a little bit more and then, of course, take this down as far as we can without flooding everything underneath, because I did not waterproof underneath there. We just put the blocks right on top of it. And soon, once we have the explosive count up a little bit, we're going to start detonating over here and shuffling things around. Now, keep in mind, the builder's huts we're not going to have forever, but that is something that can go on those platforms over what we've got going on here. And what I was going to say before, until I got distracted by figuring out where my pollution was going to go, these can come out. I think I'm just going to end up squaring this off. Say, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, might as well just go ahead and do this. Get this mess all taken care of, except... Is that actually coming out that far? I don't think it's going to end up being that big of an issue. We also have the option of, should we choose to do this, putting in irrigation barriers here, or one irrigation barrier here, and then just having this go up. I could also blast this out, put an irrigation barrier underneath it, and then just have platforms. probably would be the best way to do it and have it not look completely hideous. But, you know we like to just make things insanely complicated here, right? That's kind of our trademark at this point. See, that's gone. Get this nice and straight. I did say this corner was going to go all the way down, and then I guess that's fine. I guess. All right, blast it, and then inside, not impermeable floors, irrigation barriers. We probably don't need to have 4 of those there. In fact, that's not really going to do anything. But the one there should, and we'll platform on top of that. If that makes all the red go away, then that makes this a whole lot easier. Just have to wait for that to get constructed, which it needs treated planks, and we have 400 something of those, so that's fine. All right. Is this going to go away? It looks like it might be. Ever so slowly. Wow, that is really slow. But it does look like it's gone, so that's good news. We don't have to interrupt our path. We just have this thing go straight the way across there. And that means we can have this whole thing ready to go. Good stuff. Good stuff. So this is how many? That's 5. 5 high. What's going to be the best way to do this? I'm going to have to do it in chunks. So let's see, we'll do that and that. This piece right here is just 3 and go by itself. Like I said, going to square this off to here just because we can. This is still... Wow, this whole area is disconnected from that one piece of path. Oh, that's right, because this stuff wasn't connected there yet. Okay. Well, we'll get that all taken care of eventually. Oh, this stuff is all dying. Did it all die, or is it reconnected? No, it still says 40%. All right. Well, once the beavers get in there, they're going to be fine. All right, so this is just about equal. Now, can we carefully, and I mean carefully, do this? Very good. Unpause this thing. And then once that levee is complete, then we can get the rest of this out of here as well and put our dual suspension bridges back in. Oh, another thing we haven't done. We can remove the water dump here because we no longer need it. So there you go. Congratulations. Never have to do that again. And we need to really, really get some stuff planted here. So let's think about proximity to the farmhouses and what is going to be most required here. So if this is all going to be mangroves, well, actually maybe it doesn't need to all be mangroves. Maybe we just have, I know I keep going back and forth on this like 3 different times in the past 5 minutes. I'm sure it's causing you emotional whiplash, for which I will only slightly apologize. But if we just have this bit here go out, let me go ahead and deprioritize all of that. But if we just have the mangrove bit go here to here, or maybe we'll go to here. We'll go to here, here to here for the mangroves. That's going to be about twice as much as we're growing right now, maybe a tiny bit more. And I think that's going to be good. Reason why is because we really are going to need a lot of land to grow stuff. And we only have this much plantable here because of how I chose to do our setup here. If I had shifted it slightly when we made this one, then it would have come out to here instead, and I could have had all this to be plantable. Bad tide approaching, not going to affect us at all. Everything else is looking just fine. Just trying to think here about how we're going to get all of this appropriately taken care of. Thinking on the fly might not be your favorite way of doing things, but it sure is mine. So that's what we're going to be. That's what we're going to be doing here. I think what's going to end up happening is I'm going to try to not like completely round this out, but maybe do some sort of diagonal thing over to here, and then maybe not make this completely symmetrical, but we're going to make good use of this space. I can promise you that. But we need to get this farming stuff taken care of, or I'm going to make a liar out of myself. What I was trying to say, was that the stuff that's furthest back should be stuff that is going to be least harvested. I think. Would make sense. Maybe it doesn't matter at all. But the canola takes 9 days to grow. Corn takes 10. Eggplant takes 12. So eggplant is going to be the least harvested, or the least frequently harvested crop. So it's not the end of the world if it's far away. But I'm worried that if we do that and we're not careful about how we manage other stuff, then it's never going to get harvested. Because they're always going to have something closer. So what we could do instead, and again, this is maybe just not even that smart of an idea. What we could do instead is put the kohlrabis all the way out, because that's our least important crop. Or we could just make lines. That might be the smarter way to do it. I don't know. Not going to sit here and pretend that I know what I'm doing, even though I've played an astronomical quantity of Timberborn. We unplant absolutely everything. Actually, we have so much food, I could just destroy all of it. You know what? Let's just do that. It's going to be the easiest way to go about doing this. Except the berries. We'll leave the berries there. That's going to be fine. Just get all of this out of here and then replant accordingly. That's already unplanted. I'm not going to destroy the kohlrabi that's down here. So, I was driving you guys insane who've actually, sat there and did the math on all this. But if we had, let's say, kohlrabis all the way across the back here, just a 3-wide row, would that be enough? Every 3 days you get 2. So just on a 3-day basis, so this would be 6. This is just your 6 times tables. So math, you can do the math if you want. I think in 3 days, it is unlikely that all of the beavers will eat more than 1 kohlrabi apiece. So we're going to get from doing this a couple hundred every 3 days. I believe, if I have done my math correctly, which we all know is not guaranteed. So I'm not really worried with the kohlrabis, but I do want them to be able to be harvested. So if we did that, did cassavas, another 3 rows, because these are every 5 days, and you only get 1. But when they process, you get more out of there. Soybeans are pretty efficient, 1 every 4 days. Canola, 1 every 3. Corn, 1 every 5. Eggplant, 1 every 4. So there's like kind of different... I hope this makes sense. Because it does in my brain. I know it doesn't always work out that way for you guys watching. But there's like 3 different, I guess, tiers of speed on plants. You got those that adjusted for how many you get when you harvest. You have some that 1 every 3, some 1 every 4, some 1 every 5. And then just because cassava is the way it is, it's going to seem like you don't have a lot, but when you go to process it, you're going to get more. Right? Because you turn 4 into 10. So the math is just really weird. And I probably should just shut up and do it anyway. They can't actually reach this. Really? Okay. That would explain why it hasn't been done yet. We'll go ahead and put this path in here. We won't need this when we're actually harvesting or anything. Because, the farmhouse, like this one farmhouse, can reach almost the entirety of everything. Right? So we'll be able to do a whole lot without having to worry about it. As long as they can get all those out of there. There we go. Okay, so let's actually put our kohlrabis where our mouths are and pop that there. This pathway we had only been using to keep the berries from spreading, so we can actually remove it all the way up to here and use this for plantable space. Obviously not underneath that, but that's going to work out nicely. I hope that's enough kohlrabis. If it's not, we can plant some more somewhere else. But cassavas, I'm going to do 3 rows of that. And then soybeans, because soybeans are so much of a pain in the butt, I'm probably going to have to plant more. But keep in mind, when we do soybeans, we more than triple what we pull out of the ground. We just have to use the canola oil. So maybe it's probably fine to just do 3 rows of these guys. Or maybe I should just do... we'll start out with 3. If that's not enough, then we'll figure it out. And then canola I'm going to leave over here. Corn, I think corn and eggplant we can probably get away with doing 2. Again, corn is you get 1 every 5 days. Eggplants you get 1 every 4 if you look at the processing. The corn quintuples and the eggplant sextuples. No connotation there whatsoever. But we're not going to need to have as much as we do for everything else. I am like 99% sure. So I'm hopeful that that's going to end up being fine. Just putting in, let's just say, let's say 2 rows of corn and 2 rows of eggplant. Just right there. Of course, this is going to go away. Eggplant and corn. So that brings us out to here. We've got 2 more rows. This... Okay. Bad tide coming in. Don't worry, we're completely fine. But it is fun to watch the stuff change color here. And you know what we... did I actually put this in? I think... Yeah, I did. Okay. So we might have to do some fiddling with how the bad water reacts to the ground here, but I think it's probably fine. Probably looking okay. Okay, we got 1,100 logs. I think I could probably stand to turn these things back on at some point soon, but not going to end up being a problem. That's got to be doubles, and then we'll put the triples back here, of course. That's a double. Well, I don't necessarily have to do it that way. I just always end up doing it that way. All right. It's going to be time, I think. Yeah, that's got to go away. That's got to go away. Did I decide? Yeah, I think I did. That's coming in this way. Going to unplant all of my coffee beans as well. Those can go... I think I'm going to have those go over here. Just so all the beans are in the same spot. We can use the gatherer flag for that. Yeah, get this out here. Hauling posts are going to have to get moved again, but those can go over the top of our mangroves very easily. Why are we so out of water? 50. Oh, I know why. Are we thirsty yet? No, we're not thirsty. Good. It's because I took these guys out, and there's only 4 over here. Okay, so that is prioritized. That's prioritized. These probably don't need to be prioritized because they're super close. So what I'm going to do is that we'll come up here with... Do I have 5x1s or... Okay, 5x1s. So that's going to go here. That's going to go there. We'll put in additional deep water pumps, and I think I have those set up right like so. There we go. This was one of those things that absolutely should have been done, but was not. So go ahead and flame me for it if you so choose. Set these up as supplies. And then algae rations, corn rations. A better use of this space would be the pantries. So I'm going to go ahead and plop that in there. And we are going to super prioritize all of this because we are running out of water. Something fierce. No worries though, we'll get it taken care of. Should not be an issue whatsoever. Now the problem is we don't have enough, what are these things called? Explosives. So let's come over here to our single explosives factory. And it actually does have some bad water, but there's not enough continuing to be pumped here. And that's just because the beavers are sleeping, so that will catch up. We do need to build more of these, don't worry. I realize this. We're working on it. We're working on it. So, in that vein, I'm going to go ahead and probably have to move this back. I know that was there, but I was going to do this anyway. Move this back, and I'm not sure it will really like me doing this. Let's try... see if it'll let me get away with this. Oh, well. but it won't reach all the way down. So I guess that was an unfortunate mistake. Okay. What does it take to build one of these, and can I build them? Looks like the answer to that question is yes. Let's hit pause. And I guess we're going to speed run replacing all of this stuff. That's, is that going to be 3 blocks down? Yeah, we'll do 3 blocks down here. Just to square this off. That'll be nice. And then in that space, remember I'd like this to be symmetrical, but because of how this is laid out, I think what we're going to need to do is make it slightly unsymmetrical. Yeah, that one there is going to go there. Maybe, no, that wouldn't fit. I may have just caused myself undue pain and suffering by choosing to do this way. I'm going to forfeit the explosives that have already been put down so we can use that up there. That's going to be the more important thing. And I suppose I can do the same thing over here. Just come collect those bits. So we can be sure that we can make everything up there like we need to be making it. But they're all busy doing this anyway, so that's going to be fine. Don't you love it when you don't plan and then bad stuff happens? Well, I don't particularly love it, but it does usually end up being okay. So I think we can be at least accepting of that. Yeah, raw foodstuffs are still looking good. It's going to take us a while to figure out if this is actually going to be adequate. But I think planting in the rows like this probably is the best way to go about doing it. It might end up being that we have way too much in the way of cassavas and the soybeans and not enough in the kohlrabis, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Do I have... Wrong button. Do I have a forester close enough to actually plant stuff over here? Campfire can go away. This can go away. But I suppose I should blast this down before I do that. Maybe I don't need to worry about it. Probably don't need to worry about it. That ladder there, I think, can go away, and that's something I was thinking about doing. Yeah, because I have the ladder in the corner that's actually attached to where a path's going to go, so... Yeah, that's just a superfluous ladder, so that's gone. Get that all cleared up, and... They actually... No, they haven't built any of these yet. Come on, people. Make it work. Let's make it happen. So the pantries thing is such a cool idea, and I really hope this works. I did see somebody left a comment about the optimization of the beavers getting the food in and out might not be perfect. We'll see what happens. Not going to be stressed out about it. I think, yeah, the way this is set up actually is going to end up working out perfectly for when I put my next batch of these guys in here, because that is going to be 2 of the pumps right there, and then we'll have the gap for the straws, and then 2 more of them can be on top of this. So that'll actually work. We'll have 12 pumps up here. We just have to have them actually finish building this stuff. They need the logs. We have the logs. Not a problem. They just have to bring them in. So I think that's what they're doing now. Everything's probably okay. I don't know why they haven't brought the explosives over here yet. I guess they're all busy working on everything else. But we are starting to get some thirsty beavers. So that's fun. When stuff just doesn't pan out no matter what you do. Love to see it. Love to see it. But I am starting to get a little concerned. Okay, so we, at the very least, do have beavers working on more of this stuff over here. So it should be okay, eventually. Just going to let them continue getting to work on this. Yeah, it'll start going back up. It's just the ones that we took out of the river there, I guess, were a little bit more important than we had originally led ourselves to believe. So we're going to let that, you know, steep for a little bit, see if that really solves our problems or if it doesn't, and let the beavers go back and do the rest of what they've got to do, which hopefully just going to be putting these things in here. Because, man, am I eager to have this all taken care of. Now, I also recognize that what we could do here is blast down a little bit more and then do a similar structure to what had been going on here to squeeze those things in. Depending on how we want to do this, I think that might actually be a smart idea. But again, it's going to depend on how this is laid out here. And I think because this is constantly flowing, we're going to want to be careful to not have too much space created in here. So before we detonate, we might want to theorycraft a little bit. Let's take this down to 1x speed so I don't end up completely screwing myself over. Deep bad water pumps, if we want stuff to remain symmetrical, which I am very interested in doing. It's not really going to want to play super nice with having this area laid out the way that we want it to be laid out. Unless we did some really, really weird setup, it's just probably going to make more sense to have this set up the way that it was originally going. So I could put 3 here, 1, 2, 3, just like this, and technically have it be symmetrical, except this one would have to be flipped. So 1, and then 2 like this, and then the middle one just wouldn't match. And then if we really wanted to, we could turn this around. Well, maybe not, actually. That would have to be here and here, and then turn that around and come in from this side to get us 4, which would not be impossible. Wouldn't be the most beautiful thing we've ever made, but it would get us 4 of those, which in theory 4 should be enough. Because every hour the deep bad water pump will get you 3 bad water. If you have 4 of them, then you're going to have 12 per hour. Obviously you're not working 24 hours unless you're using bots, which we aren't. But 12 per hour compared to the consumption of this thing of... Oh, why do they do this to me? Every 3 hours it's 5, so every hour is like, what, 1.3 or something? And we're only using the one of these, right? So that's fine. The centrifuges take every hour, let's just say 5 per hour. So having... How many centrifuges do I have? 2? I have 1. Oh, I have that one down here. So let's just say 10 per hour for the centrifuges. And then the explosives thing is going to take another... Round it up and say 2. So that would work. That would be fine. We just have to be able to actually make that work. So, in the interest of actually making that possible, then we're going to want to set this off. Right, like so. Oh, I forgot that was going to need one more. Yeah, but put this down. That means the straw will reach there, and then anywhere where we're going to have the stuff actually go down, we're going to have to put in some sort of a way to get paths onto it. So that would end up requiring us to put another one on this side to have a path go all the way around. And that would give us our 4. I think. Why did I use double dynamites here? It should have been triples. I don't know why I can't count. But, you know, that's just the way it goes, I suppose. In fact, hold on. We don't have to do that on this side. I could just have it come around. Let's say that would be a straw. That would be a straw. And then this would have to come across here. No, it'll look better this way. That's going to be fine. But we do have to start... okay, this isn't going to be enough. Or it might be, but it's going to take a long time to get caught back up. So, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just force him to... Oh, hello. Autosave. Warping my camera around into who knows where. Yeah, then that's going to go... And then, of course, they can stand on this to put in the rest of the... What do you call it? Wait a minute. Did I just do something super smart? Nope, there's things here that's not going to work. Or will it? All right, science time. Just to see if this works. Oh, what? No way. There's no way that should work. All right, we're doing it. It's going to let me do it. We're going to do it. Wow, I did not think that was going to be a thing it was going to permit me to do, but that's That's exciting stuff right there, folks. Deep water pumps, once again. And then, because I guess it wants to let me do it, we'll put more there. So that's going to give us 10. That's not 10. That's 4, that's 8, that's 12, that's 14 pumps. Remember, kids, math is hard. It is so incredibly hard. So, is that where that's supposed to go? Yeah, we'll just make that be a thing. Water there, water there, water there. And set to supply. Yeah, okay, so now this is... I'm going to, at the very least, get that bit super prioritized. The rest of it can just happen whenever. Okay. And we're waiting on explosives that we don't have bad water to make. Because I don't have any bad water things ready to go. Okay. Well... Oh, do they have... Okay, good. They do have some there. I was about to say, I mean, we could probably make it work without having everything at this exact moment, but it's going to be dumb. Yeah, that's fine. So, when we get this out, this is going to have to become... I guess 5x1s. Yeah, it's going to have to be... Hopefully... Yeah, 5x1s will work. That'll be fine. Oh no, this episode's already more than an hour. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, that's illegal. It's not a water beaver episode. But we're getting stuff done. So, oh yeah. Oh, this water setup is not what we wanted here. Not what we wanted, but we're making it happen anyway. Yeah, absolutely they need to be doing this instead. Oh, so many problems, so few solutions. Well, that's going to take care of itself. We just have to get them over here to take care of the rest of this because we need the bad water. We can't go anywhere else until we get the bad water. Come on, somebody come over here and do this. Like, I know they were working on it before, so like, you know they can. They're just wait, why did we not have metal blocks over here? We got planks, we got blocks. I guess they're just taking their time. Come on, folks. We have a mighty need. Bring the components immediately. Okay, finally, this is all ready to go. Alright. That's done. So now this becomes 5x1. I can't believe I've done this. This isn't gonna work. That's not gonna work. Why'd I do this? Why'd I do this to myself? Alright, so the... Oh, jeez. The plan was... This is so... It's so stupid. Oh, no. I did the exact wrong thing. Okay. This... Wow. Wow. That's the only word for this is wow. So... I promise this made sense in my head. I promise this made sense in my head. You gotta believe me, man. You gotta believe me. Okay, so we just used our dynamite. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Alright, bad water pump. Here and here. That is known. That's what we were trying to do this whole time. But I apparently, in my misplaced zeal, misread the plans in my mind and neglected to remember that, you know, the straw actually has to go through it, so you can't use the overhangs there. Oh boy, I can't wait to read the comments on that one. But, so what we're going to need to do is now... Oh, I hope I can figure this out. All right. This is going to have to become... I'm just going to go ahead and do this here. So we know that it's going to work. This now has to be a space in the middle, and then 2. And then, no, this will work. This will work because they interact with each other there. Okay, so that's 5. I'm pretty sure. Of course, this one moved down 2 blocks. Pretty sure this is going to get me what I want. Just, again, dry building. Path goes here, path goes here. Which actually would enable this to be a 4. So that's going to work. And yes, I'm going to have to put the terrain back. I know it's going to irritate the ever-loving you-know-what out of a whole lot of you. But that's, you know, that's fine. That's fine. Sacrifices that we make. All right, so this, fortunately, can be it can be done with the 5x. Oh man, you know, it's it really is fun doing this. It honestly is, because sometimes stuff goes super well and sometimes it doesn't, and then it's yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Shut up and play the game. I know. So that's that's what we're going to be doing there. All right. Hopefully this overhang is just about done. I know we have the materials to do it. We've just got to do it, and there it's going to be some thirsty beavers for another couple days while they figure the rest of that out. But we're starting to get crops growing in here. These eggplants, of course, are still growing, but we should be just about ready to get these kohlrabies harvested for the second time. The cassava is already ready to go, and there's a lot of that left over, but our storage of raw cassava is not full yet. So that's going to be fine. The canola situation, I neglected to plant any of the canola, so I guess that's what's going to go here. Yeah. That was just a massive blunder on my part to have this set up like this. Fortunately, we still have 2,400 coffee. I've got some beans stored up. We're going to need to replant those at some point soon, but not quite there. Oh, no. These trees are all drying out, but oh, they're not going to be dead. That's fine. They're not contaminated. They're just drying. So once the rest of this is raised up land-wise, then this is going to be perfectly fine. But it's, again, just one of those things that we have to just be diligent about taking care of. Which we kind of haven't been, because everything has been a little bit chaotic today, because I keep trying to do things out of sequence and causing further problems for myself. But I'm not going to make my stream start time that I said I was going to do tonight. That's fine. Greatness can wait. Because, you know, we absolutely have to have this taken care of. No, I'm committed to this now. That should help a little bit. Slowly. And we finally have bad water pumping again. Even even after that absolute catastrophe of whatever that was. So oh man. What a mess. What a mess. But we're trying. We're doing our best. Even if my voice doesn't want to cooperate anymore, I guess. But what we've accomplished today, chaos and ill-advised sequencing notwithstanding, has actually been pretty good, I think. Obviously, we have quite a bit more to go. But this is good stuff here to get more and not run out of water in the middle of the night like we had been. We got bad water pumps operating. This just needs some explosive from this, which of course is going to take some time. And then that's going to be that. So, I think what I'm going to do to close out this episode is go ahead and, yes, friends, we're going to time lapse. We're going to get some explosives made. We're going to get this area fully set up, ready to go, at least for farming, and then depending on how long it takes to actually make the dynamite, maybe start with some additional mangrove planting. But yeah, I mean, at some point we're just going to have to shut up and do it. So that's what I'll do while we're sitting here. I will do the end of episode stuff in this process as well. So really appreciate you guys watching these videos, giving me some insightful commentary. and all that good stuff, Beard Boosters. Of course, with their support of the channel, making it possible to keep doing this as much as I do, and making so many things possible in my life to allow me to do this. Like, I cannot say thank you enough to everybody who supported the channel, supported me directly, or the videos in general, just by being here. You've made a huge difference in my life, and I'm hopeful that in some small way you can get some sort of return on your investment, so to speak, whether it's time or direct financial support or whatever. We have a good time here, and I hope that's something that can continue. Water Breeders is over, essentially. I'm probably going to put out a short video, a very short video tomorrow with the results of that playthrough, see how high the well-being can actually get. Because when I went to go do the screenshot for the thumbnail, the well-being just kept going up and up and up and up and up, and had no signs of stopping anytime soon, since we solved so many problems. So we'll see what happens, but we're going to start a hard mode series with the Iron Teeth in Update 6. And when I say hard mode, I mean hard mode. It's going to be probably the hardest one we've done in a very long time. So get excited for that. That's going to take the Water Reaver time slot, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday videos. So that should be a whole lot of fun. And then we're going to start very soon a live stream series with the Ember Pelts faction mod. I've been wanting to take a look at that for a while. So we'll see what happens in terms of that. I don't know exactly when that one's going to start, but it's going to be sometime soon. We'll see. And then, of course, there's other stuff in the live streams like Oxygen Not Included that people have been asking to do return to, and then other games that people suggested I want to take a look at. We'll see what happens. But I'll go ahead and talk to you on the other side of the time-lapse very, very briefly to just take a look at what we've gotten accomplished. And we'll see you then. So I lied. We're definitely still going to talk a little bit during this time-lapse because it ended up being a lot more involved than I originally thought. So, obviously, getting a whole lot of dynamite takes a really, 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 really long time when you only have one. So I did go ahead and build a second. I'm not sure when you're going to see that in the time-lapse, but in case you missed it, I did build a second one of those. And I'm blasting out this mangrove area piecemeal and trying to plant trees whenever I've got the time, moving the ladder a little bit more into the corner, just trying to have as much space as I possibly can utilized appropriately, moving the pine trees around, and hopefully figuring out a little bit of a balance on the food. Again, we're still perfectly fine on food. We're not ever going to run out. But we might need to plant some more kohlrabies. Definitely going to need to plant some more of a couple of things. But for right now, stuff is looking pretty good. Just keeping on getting everything situated. And hopefully, by the time this little bit is done, then the time-lapse will be fully complete and we'll be ready to go. I lied again. Now another interruption because I forgot that we were going to run out of power super early, so we're building another framed flywheel, and the power transfer thing, I always forget what stuff is called, but that's going to get built at some point during this time-lapse, hopefully before the drought starts, and hopefully, again, we'll be able to continue powering through that, because it sure has taken a long time to get this dynamite made up, I'll tell you what, but I promise you it's going to be worth it, and hopefully I don't have to cut into this again. I don't know. I do this all on the fly, so that's just the way it's going to go. Hopefully, the next time I talk to you, it'll be the end of the episode. At long last, finally, as my OBS recording counter says, 2 hours, 9 minutes, and 3 seconds. We are finished with the time-lapse for this episode, and boy, look at what we've got. They're still planting these mangrove trees, but we have more than doubled the amount that we're currently growing. We've got a lot of pines ready to give us plenty of pine resin. We've got lots of oak trees that, surprise, surprise, weren't marked for cutting. So if you guessed that, you win a prize. The prize is absolutely nothing but your own satisfaction. So hopefully you enjoy that one. And we're over here with our full reservoir. Still haven't quite finished all this, but I guess we could go ahead and set that up before we're out of here today. But we've already taken care of all the end of the episode stuff, so we can just focus on looking at what we've done. The food supply is dwindling, but we still have over 6,000 ready to go. It seems like we are probably going to need to plant some more cassava. The situation with the canola is not really great either, but I think part of that might be due to not really having a good connectivity between up here and over here, since we moved so much of this stuff around. But I think overall, what we've got going on here is very, very good. We got space up here to put some campfires, probably. I kind of changed my mind about how I wanted this to be set up, just so we could have this big, not technically square, but square-ish thing going on. And we do still have some other stuff to put down, plant here, so on and so forth, but we are well and truly out of time for today. So just to recap, we put in large vertical frame flywheels during the lead up to the drought, and then the drought itself unfortunately did not finish. I know the voiceover I was saying was like, oh, we're going to finish it. No, it didn't end up happening. But this should get us through the rest of the droughts for the rest of this playthrough. I'm not really planning on adding anything else that's going to take a whole lot more power. And now we are at the point where I'm going to have to turn the processing for the planks and the gears, at least a couple of them, back on. But we managed to get through the hardest part of it unscathed. No beavers died in dynamite explosions or anything like that. And I think, genuinely, that this is turning out very, very nicely. This one gatherer flag can technically get all of this at once. I did make sure that that would work before I did that. And, of course, this forester can do all this at once. I'm not sure that this one gatherer flag can handle this continuously. So we're going to take a look at harvesting speed when that time comes and everything's fully grown. I'm sure we're going to end up having to put at least one more of these in. But everything's just looking really, really good. And I think as much of a fiasco as this was, it was very smart of us to put that in. It looks pretty good. I know we haven't put the rest of the Tribute to Ingenuity on the other side in yet, and that's fine. Again, stuff just takes a long time, and it's not going to be fast. So what we can focus on now is just putting in as much of this land as we possibly can. I will queue this up before we are all done for today. But like I said, it's one of those things where... Oh, there's a tree here. It's one of those things where it's just going to be a slow process, and we've got to be able to accept that. So I appreciate your patience, as always, when dealing with this fun stuff. So, you know what? No, we'll put this in that way. They're going to be much less likely to get stuck. But, you know the drill. It's just one of those things. It's never going to be a quick process. So appreciate you sticking with it once again. Long video, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. This series is getting very close to its end. But I wanted to make sure that before we say goodbye, we've done everything that we possibly could do to take advantage of our mega build fun stuff. And yeah, you know the drill. We already said our goodbyes, but I genuinely do appreciate you being here. Thanks so much for the support. This series would not be possible without it. Have a great rest of your day, whatever it is you're doing. Stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you later. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.